Good morning, dear children. Today we are going to continue with chapter 3, Understanding Quadrilaterals. So, do you remember the topics what we have learned in the last session? So, we have seen few topics from chapter 3. What are the topics we have learned? We have learned about definition of quadrilateral and kinds of quadrilateral like trapezium, kite and parallelogram. And in parallelogram we have seen the different properties of parallelogram, and based on that we have done mini problems. Next we have seen the polygons. So definition of polygons and different types of polygons we have learned. And based on these all these definitions and topics we have done the exercise problems. So now we are continuing with exercise 3.3. So 3.3, some problems we have seen already in the last session. So the remaining problems we are going to see in this session. Then we are going to start the new topic of this chapter 3. The last session, parallelogram and its different types. So first figure is rhombus. Today we are going to learn about rhombus. Okay children. Now let's begin the session. So the continuation of exercise 3.3, the 10th problem. Explain how this figure is a trapezium. Which of its two sides are parallel? Okay, children, do you remember the definition of trapezium? The trapezium means it will have the opposite sides parallel. Opposite sides parallel for trapezium. So explain how this figure is a trapezium. Which of its two sides are parallel? So look at here. KLMN is a trapezium, and here what are the sides parallel? Opposite sides are parallel, right? So NM and KL are parallel. We can take NM and KL are parallel. Before that, can you see here some angles they have given? Angle M and angle L. What are the measurements given here? 100 degree and 80 degree. We know that adjacent sum of adjacent angles are equal to 180 degree. Here we can take the two lines as parallel. What are the two lines? NM and KL are the parallel lines. Parallel lines means what, children? The parallel lines will not intersect each other. That lines are known as parallel lines. Then we can take ML as transversal. Why we are taking ML as transversal? Because it is passing through N, M and KL. When you extend this line, look at here, ML will be crossing, intersecting this two line. So the angles formed here, angle L and M, are the two angles formed on the same side of the transversal. That's why these angles we'll call it as adjacent angles. So we know that, so in the transversal, on the same side of the transversal, we have two angles. What are the two angles? Angle L and angle M. What are the measurements given? 100 degree and 80 degree. We know that sum of these angles is equal to 180 degree. So angle M plus angle L is equal to 180 degree. Look at here, angle M plus angle L is equal to 180 degree because adjacent angles are supplementary. Supplementary means 180 degree. So hence we can say that NM and KL are parallel and ML is a transversal. So if transversal intersect the two given lines such that the sum of the angles on the same side of transversal is 180 degree, then the given two lines will be parallel to each other. So they have given the detailed explanations. We know that sum of adjacent angles is equal to 180 degree. So since NM and KL are parallel lines. Why? Because ML is a transversal. ML is a transversal and NM and KL are the parallel lines. So if transversal intersects the two given lines, so transversal, this ML is a transversal, it is intersecting means it is passing through the two lines NM and KL, such that the sum of the angles on the same side. Here what are the angles on the same side? 80 and 100 degree. Sum of the angles on the same side of a transversal is 180 degree. Now understood? Since here we have written in a single line, adjacent angles are supplementary. We have given a detailed explanations. So this, I have given these explanations for your understanding. So now when I teach, you will think that's very easy. Just a transversal is passing, so NM and KL are the parallel lines. So angles forms on the same side or adjacent angles is equal to 180 degree. Then after a few days, when you turn back this page and you read, why you will think why ML is a transversal and why 180 degree. Sum of this is 180 degree. Why adjacent angles are supplementary. So that time now you can just read this explanation part, so you can remember, okay, why we are applying all these concepts, what is the concept, you can easily identify. For that only I have given the explanations. For your examination, read it, understand it, and you can write in your own words. Okay, don't by heart this. Just understand the figure. What is a figure? What are the parallel lines? What do you mean by parallel lines? What is a transversal? What is an adjacent angle? Understand it and you can write in your own words. Please don't by heart it. Okay, don't by heart and write as if what I am given. Don't by heart and write. Since for your understanding, and when you study it during the revision time, it is easy. You can just read it, then you'll understand. You'll remember the concept. For that only I have given the explanation. You can write the answers in a two line. Adjacent angles are supplementary. Then NM and LK are parallel lines and ML is a transversal. And you can write in a bracket, the angles formed on the same side of a transversal is equal to 180 degree. You can write this like this. You can write in a simple words. For your understanding, I have given these explanations. Okay. Therefore, KLMN is a trapezium as it has one pair of parallel lines. Here, which is the one pair of parallel lines? NM and KL. Trapezium will have one pair of parallel lines. Okay, maybe we can take, okay, if sometimes this two side won't be a parallel lines, then KN and ML will be a parallel. So, any one pair of a trapezium will be a parallel lines. Okay, one pair will be a parallel lines. Okay, understood, children? Let's see the next problem. The next problem, find measure of angle C. M, angle simple, and C, the meaning is measure of angle C. Okay, children, find measure of angle C in the below figure if angle AB. Okay, AB, what is the meaning? One AB and one hyphen above that means it's a line segment. It's a line segment. What is a line segment, children? Line segment means it will have a starting point and it will have an ending point, and the measurement, it is a fixed measurement. Could you remember all these definitions we have learned in grade 7? So AB and one hyphen above, if you have written, what is the meaning? It's a line segment. In grade 7 for the geometry chapter, we have learned this. AB and one hyphen like this means meaning is line segment. So AB is parallel to DC. In this figure, which is the AB, this is the AB and DC. So they have given AB is parallel to DC. So if any one pair of, in a figure, any one pair is a parallel to each other, means it's a parallel side, means it's a trapezium, right? Do you remember, children, definition of trapezium? Now they have given AB is parallel to DC and they have given one angle 120 degree. Angle B is equal to 120 degree, and you know the adjacent angles. Sum of adjacent angles is equal to 180 degree, or else we can say angles on the same side of transversal. So this is DC, one parallel line, AB another parallel line, and this CB is a transversal. So angles on the same side of a transversal. Sum of the angles on the same side of a transversal. So here which angle it will be? Angle B and angle C. So angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. We can say that. Okay. So here AB is parallel to DC Now we want to find out angle C. What is the question? We want to find out the measure of angle C. So here which are the two adjacent angles, children? Angle B and angle C. What is the measurement for angle B? 120. So 120 plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. Now use the equation method. Look at here, angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. Why we are writing that? Angles on the same side of transversal are 180 degree. For this, the previous problem we have given the detailed explanation. Okay, so in the bracket you write it down this. Next, what is the angle B measurement given in the question? 120. So 120 plus angle C is equal to 180. Now equation method. Bring all the constant term to one side. So angle C is equal to 180 degree minus 120 degree. So when you subtract, you will be getting the answer 60 degree. So what is the measurement of angle C? We got 60 degree. Okay, children, we got the question they are asking to find the measurement of angle C. So now we got angle C is equal to 60 degree. Okay, children, it's very easy, right? It's very easy problems. Just you want to understand the concept and you can do it. Don't by heart the problems. Okay, understand what concept we are applying. Just understand it and write it down. Okay, children, now let's see the next problem. The next problem is find the measure of angle P and angle S if SP is parallel to RQ. So in the question they have given SP is parallel to RQ they have given. So we can say these two sides are parallel because that is given in the question. SP and RQ are parallel. And we want to find out angle P and angle S. This is what we want to find out. So they have given two angles. What are the two angles? Angle Q is equal to 130 degree and angle R is equal to 90 degree. What is the meaning of this symbol, children? The meaning is the 90 degree. So these two angles are given. Now we want to find out angle P and angle S. So P and Q are the adjacent angles, right? P and Q are the adjacent angles. Then S and R are also adjacent angles. So first we will find out angle P. So angle P plus angle Q is equal to 180 degree. Why? Angles on the same side of a transversal. So adjacent angles, sum of adjacent angles is equal to 180 degree. So angle P plus what is angle Q? 130 degree. Look at here, angle P plus angle Q 130 degree equal to 180 degree. Then equation method, bring all the constant term to one side. So after the calculation we got P is equal to 50 degree. This angle P is equal to 50 degree. Now we want to find out angle S. So angle S plus angle R is equal to 180 degree. Look at here, angle R plus angle S is equal to 180 degree because these two are adjacent angles. Then in the place of our substitute 90 degree, so 90 degree plus angle S is equal to 180 degree. Bring this 90 to the right hand side, so 180 minus 90. So you will get S is equal to 90 degree. Okay, children, so here we are applying angles on the same side of a transversal. So sum of angles on the same side of a transversal is equal to 180 degree. So that concept we are applying here and we are finding out the missing angles. Okay, children, now let's see the next part. Some special parallelogram. So the next topic we are going to learn is some special parallelogram. So first one is rhombus. Okay, read it, children. A rhombus is a quadrilateral with sides of equal length. So rhombus is a quadrilateral with its sides have equal length. The next point, since the opposite sides of rhombus have the same length, it is also a parallelogram. Okay, so what is the first point? A rhombus, the shape of a rhombus has all the sides with equal length. And like the parallelogram, do you remember one property of a parallelogram? Opposite sides of a parallelogram have equal in length. The same way for rhombus also, opposite side is of same length. Okay, the next one. So a rhombus has all the properties of a parallelogram and also that of a kite. So rhombus has all the properties of a parallelogram and also that of kite. Do you remember the property of kite? A kite has how many sides? 4 sides, and it is also a quadrilateral. And any two sides will be equal in length. Mainly the opposite two sides will be equal in length for kite. Do you remember, children? So for a parallelogram, opposite sides will be of equal in length and it is parallel. So for rhombus, opposite sides are of equal in length, and kite also the same thing. Opposite sides will have the equal in length. That's why the rhombus has all the properties. Rhombus has all the properties of a parallelogram and also that of kite. The last point, a rhombus is a type of parallelogram whose all sides are equal in length. The same way, all sides of equal in length for rhombus. Okay, a rhombus is a quadrilateral, a rhombus is a parallelogram, a rhombus is a kite with all the sides of equal in length. For kite, any two sides will have equal in length. Mainly the opposite two sides will be having equal in length. Do you remember, children, the property of kite? Now let's see the figure. So this is a rhombus. Can you see here? This is a rhombus figure. Here all the sides which will have equal in length and it will have two diagonals. A rhombus is a type of parallelogram whose all sides are equal in length. Look at here, this side, all the four sides are equal in length. It will have two diagonals. Note, the side of rhombus are all of same length. This is not the case with the kite. So kite has any two opposite two sides, it will have equal in length. Do you remember, children? The opposite two sides will be having equal in length for kite. But for rhombus, all the sides are of equal in length. So don't confuse with rhombus and kite. Same, the figure looks same, but for kite, any two opposite two sides, mainly the opposite two sides will be equal in length for kite. And for rhombus, all the sides are having equal in length. Okay, children, so keep this point in your mind. Don't get confused. The next one, the property of rhombus. The diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular bisector of one another. The diagonals here, what are the two diagonals? AC is one diagonal and DB is another diagonal. So the diagonal of a rhombus are perpendicular bisector of one another. So look at here, we will form a 90 degree. Here also 90 degree we can say. It's a perpendicular bisectors of one another. Perpendicular bisector means, look at here, when they bisect it forms 90 degree angles. Look at here, this one 90 degree, this one 90 degree, here also 90 degree. If you want, I'll mark it. Then it will be easy for you to understand. Look at here. This forms a 90 degree when they bisect. Here also it forms the 90 degree. The same way here 90 degree. Here also 90 degree. So that's why it's known as a perpendicular bisector of one another. So ABCD is a rhombus. Therefore, it is a parallelogram too. A rhombus, it has satisfies all the property of a parallelogram, so we can say that rhombus is also a parallelogram. Since diagonals bisect each other, so here OA is equal to OZ. OA, this half will be equal to this half. So OA equal to OZ, therefore DO is equal to OB. Okay, look at here, I have written. So measure of angle AOD is equal to measure of angle COD is equal to 90 degree. Look at here, AOD, then COD. So this measure of angle is equal to 90 degree. By SSS congruence criteria. SSS congruence means we can take this one triangle, this one triangle, this one triangle. So here we have 4 triangles. So we are using here congruence method. So SSS congruence means all the sides are equal in a triangle. We have studied different types of congruence of triangle. Do you remember RHS, AAA, AHA? So here all the sides are equal. So here see this by SSS congruence criteria. So take this triangle AOD, this center point is O, OD. So this one AOD is one triangle. Okay, AOD is one triangle. So this is O. This intersecting point, this is O. So AOD is concurrent to COD. Okay, so here all the sides are equal. All the sides are equal for this rhombus means all the sides are equal. So here we are applying SSS concurrent. So triangle AOD is concurrent to triangle COD by using SSS concurrence. Since AO is equal to OC. Look at here, AO is equal to OC, or we can say AO is equal to CO. Therefore, we can say AD is equal to CD because we know in a rhombus all the sides are equal. So AD is equal to, we can say AD is equal to CD. And we know OD is equal to OB. This is also equal. Equal half, right? This is also equal, these two sides also. So we can say, since angle AOD and COD, angle AOD and COD are linear pair. Why? This is a straight line. It has a common vertex. So these two are a linear pair. Angle O is a linear pair. Look at here. Angle O is a linear pair. Then measure of angle AOD is equal to COD is equal to 90 degree. Is equal to 90 degree. So linear pair means what, children? You'll have a straight line and you'll have a common arm. Look at here. This is AC is a straight line and this OD is a common vertex. So angles formed here, these two sides are linear pair. We know that sum of linear pair is equal to 180 degree. Here this angles form 90 degree. So 90 degree plus 90 degree, 180 degree. So angle AOD is equal to angle COD. Both are 90 degree. Okay children, so we have, what is this property? The diagonals bisect at perpendicular to each other. It's perpendicular. Here what are the two diagonals, children? Here what are the two diagonals? AB and AC are the two diagonals. So what is the property? The diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular bisector of each other, of one another or each other. Okay. So here the diagonal of rhombus. Here what are the two diagonals? AC and DB are the two diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular to each other. So here they are crossing, they are just intersecting, and this perpendicular to each other means the angles formed here are 90 degree. Here 90 degree, here 90 degree, and these four angles will be 90 degree. That is the meaning perpendicular means. Okay children. So the remaining properties and remaining topics we will be seeing in the next session. So please go through all these properties. Please learn the definition part, understand and study. Don't by heart the concepts, just understand it and write in your own words. Okay, the remaining problem we will see in the next. Thank you children. Have a nice day.